when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are live here. We're coming to you live this morning from the third floor Port Mall. You can see us on Gael, M&E TV, Facebook, and YouTube. And I can tell you, viewers, a lot of great and exciting things are coming your way with regards to Tobago Updates. But we're going to let you know later on. Just some quick information before we chat with our guest. To all Mass Calypsonians, pan and interested persons of the Canacopia 2023 event, the meeting with stakeholders listed above, carded for Friday 19th May 2023, has been postponed to Monday 22nd May, that's today 2023, at 6 p.m. sharp at the Buku Community Center. Due to technical difficulties of the bookings of the facilities we had in mind before we were unable to have the meeting at the scheduled time. We are sorry for any inconvenience caused, but we'll see you at the new date suggested, which is today. For more information, you can call 680-6893. The new date again, today, Monday, 22nd May, 2023. Well, viewers, we're chatting this morning with Sergeant Joseph Jordon of the TTPS, no stranger to Tobago Updates. This morning, he's going to give us an update from the TTPS and give us an idea of, where we stand with regards home invasions in Tobago. Good morning and welcome to you, Sergeant Jordon. I almost said Thomas. Where did I get Thomas from? Sergeant Jordon, it's good to have you.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago, if you're not listening audience, wherever they are around the globe.
All right. Well, like I said, always good to have you on the program. Now, let us talk a little bit here. We're talking home invasions, and I understand that this weekend the TTPS was on the ground. You all carried out quite a few exercises throughout the island. Give us an update on where things stand.
So let me just do an overall update as to where we are currently. All right. Okay. So the Tobago Division, we have a reduction in our SRCs, serious report crimes. All right. So in 2022, we would have recorded 306. That's for the period January.
And this is serious crime.
Serious crime, right? 306. For this year, for the said period, we now have a recording of 218. So we would have a 29% decrease. All right. Our detection rate, however, although our SRCs are being reduced, our detection rate is also low or falling because it currently stands at 24%. Right. Some of the prevalent crimes that are affecting the Tobago Division includes murders, right? Obviously, larceny, dwelling house, and fraudulent offences. We have seen some increases in those areas. As relates to murder, when we compare that period of January to May, we would have recorded 2 murders then. For that same period, this year, we would have had a total of 6, unfortunately. So we are seeing an overall reduction because a murder is also classified as a SRC. But because of its seriousness, and this is what a country or this is what persons are interested in, it tends to stand out. But it is part of the whole aspect of the serious report crimes. So we have had some challenges with that, and we continue to push back against those crimes. And even on a more positive side, as it relates to firearms, last week, Thursday, we would have recovered a firearm in the Coral Gardens area, Buku. And that would have been 1 pistol with 13 rounds. So once again, we have to thank the officers of the Shervan district, the officers in the Tobago Division, for at least taking 1 firearm off the ground, which would have taken us to a total of 6 firearms off the streets for the year thus far. Let's divert a little bit into the fatal RTAs. Now, we have also recorded 6 fatal RTAs for the year. Condolences to the family of the Adams family. Condolences to the Division of Finance, as well as our comrades in the fire service for that untimely death that would have transpired last Thursday. So investigations are going on into that, and we will ensure that if there is any negligence, they will be dealt with accordingly. So that is where we basically are thus far in the Tobago Division. Or a quick note, not even a note, I should say, and further update. Last evening, Golden Lane would have had its harvest, and we have reports there were 2 shootings in the area where 3 persons in total were injured, they would have suffered gunshot wounds. They are currently at the Scarborough General Hospital. And this is two separate incidents that would have happened last night in the Golden Lane area, that's in Moriah district. And also in the Shervan Road district, we had a robbery at Pizza Boys, where that was two gun-toting personnel would have accosted the cashier and relieved her of, or the establishment rather, of over $2,000. So investigations are ongoing in those unfortunate incidents, and we are asking once again for the public to reach out to us and give us the necessary support. And if you see something, say something.
All right, and let's talk about the detection rate. You know, are persons being charged with some of these crimes? Are you capturing? Are you finding out? Is the TTPS getting to the bottom of some of these crimes?
Right. So yes,
petty or not?
Yes, we are. However, as I would have indicated, it has been reflected in our overall figure because it only stands at 24%. So therefore, that our detection rate is much lower than last year, which we were in the region of between 35 to 40% in 2022. So this year we are seeing a much lower reduction in our detection rate. There's, for example, murders. Now we would have had 6 murders thus far, and we beg that we don't have any more. But we were able to solve. Currently, only 1 has been solved. The others, generally, when it comes to murder, your investigations must be very detailed, and you must be precise in bringing these charges. So there are instances where we bring in suspects, interview them, you may have to release them until you get the evidence to bring them before the court of justice. So we are working on that and in bringing our detection rate up and ensuring that perpetrators are brought to justice, because when a crime occurs, it means that, and they are not caught, it means that they go out there and continue to commit crime. Even in instances where persons are brought before the courts and they are granted bail, while they are on bail, they continue to commit sometimes the same crime or other crimes. So it's like there is no improvement in as relates to these persons in their life, because they are not learning. There are no sort of rehabilitation taking place, so they continue to do what they are accustomed doing, and hence it affects our crime statistics and the way of life in Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, so what should the public be mindful of? Because I mean, and this is, we're talking here about crimes within Tobago. There's a lot of guns. Every other day there seems to be some type of shooting in Tobago. And this was unheard of before. Now we're seeing guns on the streets in Tobago. What is the TTPS doing to remove?
Right, certainly no. It has become a thorn in our side. However, we intend to remove that thorn. We have engaged in a number of policies and strategies in treating with this proliferation of firearms. Now, it is basically centered around the gangs, this whole gang culture, that is plaguing Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we must consider Trinidad being our big sister isle can and will continue to influence the culture of Tobago. And when we have things happening in Trinidad, there is the possibility that it can also happen in Tobago. So we cannot bury our heads in the sand and say that Tobago don't have gangs or they may not be influenced. So the gang culture, which is drugs and guns, are definitely impacting on us. However, we would have met with various stakeholders, security stakeholders, and we have put things in place. We have upped our patrols. We are working in collaboration with all the agencies under the Ministry of National Security. So you will be seeing greater presence. You will be seeing results, because we are at a stage that we cannot use that. We cannot be reactive. We have to be proactive in what we do, and we are going to target, for example, the drug blocks, because that is where most of our challenges lie. So if, for example, we look at that incident that would have that unfortunate death of that young man down at Mount Pleasant, where he was shot on the road, it was as a result of being on the block, gang-related drugs. So those are some of the motives that are causing the havoc on the island.
I wanna share with you a comment on the live here. One of the viewers says, "Why would the public reach out to you, the TTPS, when you cannot protect them?"
All right. So I often say the police comes from the community, and the community is the police. How are we going to solve crimes if we don't share information? The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service have a duty-bound purpose of protecting its citizens. And through our various mechanisms, there is no perfect system. However, what we ought to do is to ensure that we work together with our partners to ensure that we can reduce crime. We have a responsibility to push back. And this pushback must be a holistic approach. It is one hand, as we often say, one hand can't clap. So we need the support of the public, and whatever information is shared, that is the information that is going to be used. While we do our work as relates to intelligence and information, we would also need the support of persons, because we have seen it on several occasions where there are instances where there are murders between, let me say, rival gangs. Nobody sees anything. However, if it's an incident involving the police and even a gang member, we often hear the term, "or they're too wicked," and these kind of things. So is it that the community intent is bent on supporting criminal activities, or are they intent on supporting the police actions in trying to reduce crime and bring these perpetrators to justice?
And I hear what you're saying, and oftentimes these persons come from within the communities.
Yes.
These are the sons and possible daughters of active community members. All right, so it seems as though the responsibility is not on the criminal, but
on the police.
On the police.
All right, and we are called to a higher order. There's no dispute in that. The police is not an agency, an organization that will go out and behave in erratic and unprofessional manners. No, we would have our challenges because, as I said, no system is perfect, no person is perfect. However, we have a standard to keep. We have our values and pride, and we have to ensure that we continue to work along the professional path in tackling and solving crime. As it stands, what we are aiming for is for a proactive approach, and that proactive approach is through community relationship, community partnership, because we cannot continue to wait until something happens and then we are almost defeating the purpose of crime fighting.
All right, let me just share two comments here. I'm not going to share all of it, but Lyndon Mack seems to have a lot to say this morning. Officer Joseph, the public will not give you info when you cannot protect them in real time. Several years ago, someone in Tobago reported drugs to the police. Police today, they are dead. Challenor Birchwood says they need to start doing random searches on the ferry while transiting from Trinidad to Tobago. Do random roadblocks at night, even in Tobago East, which happens. I live in Tobago East, and trust me, that happens very regularly. Use the Defense Force and Coast Guard to guard our coast and tourist areas, create a visible presence, and I have to agree with that, that there be a little bit more in terms of the searches on the ferry to and from Trinidad. Use the Defense Force and Coast Guards to guard our coast, because guns you don't sow a gun seed and you reap a gun tree. All right, guns are coming in from somewhere, and I find it very challenging to understand how is it they're coming in when we've got a TTPS, we've got the Army, we've got the Coast Guard, and I'm trying to understand how, and I feel as though, this is just me, but as though somebody has to know that these guns are coming in, and somebody has to know where these guns are coming in, and somebody has to know the time, and somebody has to know.
All right. In response, let me just start off with the comments. Now, out of the three mentioned topics, now the police and the Tobago Division, we are doing those things. We are searching the ports, we are getting fines, right? We are doing random roadblocks, we are searching homes. What we would see, and also we are working with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. We are doing all of those things. What we would do further is increase the intensity to which it has been done. Now, many of our law-abiding or public citizens, when actions are in or intensify, we tend to cry out for inconvenience. And however so, when we conduct our road traffic accidents, you find people talking, so they are not else to go and over there and look for the bandit and them not hiding in the bush. But at the end of the day, policing is a holistic approach. Traffic offenses may be trivial, but out of a traffic offense, you may find somebody moving with a gun. You might find drugs transported in a vehicle. And this is why we have to target our streets. Our main roads, our minor roads, our secondary roads, we have to target them. And the suggestions are welcome, and I rest assured that they are being done. As it relates to the seas, that responsibility is one for the Coast Guard. Our main function is to ensure that the law and order is preserved inland. So if whatever firearms are on land, we will try our best to remove them, while the Coast Guard have their role and function to secure our borders and to ensure that illegal persons or illegal immigrants, drugs and firearms, it should be very difficult for them to get into our country. So everybody has to play their part.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there. I want to thank you this morning, Sergeant Joseph Jordon, for being on the program with us this morning. And all the best to you. And I say here, damned if you do, damned if you do. Damned if you don't, damned if you do as a police officer. Yeah. At the end of the day, do what you're called to do.
Yes, and that is what we have to do. And this is what I continue to say. We have to partner. And if we keep promoting negativity, then we're going to get negative results. We have to trust one another. All
right. Well, thank you again for being on the program.
Viewers,
lots more coming up this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. So viewers, share the live, share the live, share the live.